Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is my first ever video, just talking, using a very small, fluffy mic. Um, I'm in George Square in Edinburgh, Old Town. And when I woke up this morning, I didn't think I'd be filming this. I was just focused on getting to church because today we celebrate the ascension of our Lord Jesus Christ. I'm Christian Orthodox Christian. And I sing the choir and I absolutely love it. And yeah, so that's where my mind was this morning. But later on, I thought, I feel like jamming in the park. And then I thought, maybe I could record something because my flatmate lent me his fluffy microphones. And I love a fluffy microphone. It's just so cute. Look at it. It looks like um yeah, so I'm just praying that my phone is not going to collapse again because it just did just now. But that's good promo for Edinburgh, I suppose. I'm going to move to the side to be more in the center. Um, yeah, and I have no plan for this, but it's a nice moment because I've spent a lot of time being worried about not worried, but wanting to start lots of things but never doing it. And I have no idea if anything will come out of this, but I think it's quite nice to start without any pressure, without any stress or being like, oh, it has to be perfect because I don't know what I'm doing. Um, this is something I learned when I broke my foot actually. And if you're one of my friends watching this, which you probably are because I have like 8 subscribers, um, you're bored probably of me talking about my foot. But in case you're not, basically what happened, as in case you don't know what happened, I broke a part of my foot. This one when jumping. I was doing a sports warm up, and when I just landed on my left foot, I cracked a bit of it. And it wasn't severe enough for a cast. It was also quite painful, and I had to stay at home for a month. And in that month, I had to slow down and realize that, well, first of all, I had a month off work, which is not bad. It's not bad at all. Get to sleep, get to do whatever you want. Although, I think we probably all know that too much freedom is bad for one's spirit because we humans just don't know what to do with that freedom. We need rules and systems in place. So after I spent like a week or two just binging on chocolate and Netflix, I was like, I'm disgusted. I need to do something else. And I started to slowly walk by that point because the first week or two I couldn't really move. And then I was like, hey, maybe I could finally learn how to produce, right? Produce music. I love music. I love singing. I love playing the guitar. I have the guitar with me. And maybe I'll record something after this without the mic, or maybe with the mic. I don't know if technology will work with me. And yeah, I went on this course that my friend bought for me as a gift and that I've never accessed before. I'm sorry if you're watching this. I just, life gets in the way. And I started to experiment and I started to just really have fun with it. And I realized I really don't need to worry about stuff now because anyway, no one's going to hear it or unless I send it to them, which I did. And which you can find on my channel. The last few videos are the product of my time and creativity during my time in captivity. There you go. We have a rhyme. And yeah, it was a great feeling of freedom, of liberating myself from my own trap, of thinking, oh, I need to do this and that, and creating these expectations for myself and telling people about my plans and oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. And it's actually not great because in your head you think you've done it, but you don't realize that actually you have to go through it and go through the tiny hurdles that you might experience, like your phone falling off because of the wind, or you feel shy in front of the camera and things like that. So yeah. So I'm here and it feels nice. Um there was a time actually when I wanted to start a podcast about the science of starting. and I had someone who was really, really supportive of it, and I really wanted to do it, but then I just never really made the plan. And you know that quote, a dream without a plan is just a dream, but if you have a plan, it's a goal, if that makes sense. Either way, yeah. Yeah, there's so much material on the science of starting, just getting started, you know, habit building. There's a lot of self development stuff that I used to consume, but I no longer do because I think maybe I just got tired. Um, Maybe I just wanted to exist and do my best. And, you know, at some point you reach this overload of information and you're like, oh, well. And then the best part is when people contradict themselves, like contradict each other on the internet, not in a debate necessarily, but just one person says something, then another trending person on Instagram says something else. Hence why I deleted my Instagram. Not to be all woohoo, but it does help my mental health to not have Instagram. Because it's just too much and you want to believe everyone, but you just cannot because everyone has such different opinions of things. And especially when it comes to things that are sensitive issues, like things pertaining to self development, things like relationships as well. It just becomes a bit overwhelming. Like, I'm not saying anything groundbreaking, but in case any of you are considering, you know, getting rid of Instagram, maybe this is your sign. Yeah. And ultimately, I mean, the conclusion I got to when it comes to starting is, yeah, it's all about the feelings around it and about the amount of negative feelings that you feel about something, and the amount of pressure that you put on yourself to succeed and to do this and that. Ultimately, it's probably best if you do things just for the fun of it. And then if it happens to be successful, then that's cool. But what better validation than the one in yourself? And again, if you're my friend, you'll think, Joanna, this is so rich because I mean, it's not like I'm known for seeking external validation all the time. At the same time, I do put a lot of emphasis on it. I grew up in a system that put a lot of emphasis on it, i.e., the Romanian educational system, where, you know, it's super important that you please everyone and you get a lot done and you're an expert in 100 subjects and you go to every single Olympiad. And I've only realized recently how much that is embedded in me. And it makes me high performing in certain aspects of my life. At the same time, it makes me really dislike myself when I don't do things at a certain standard. And it's surprising how long it takes to actually undo that, because you go through denial, resistance, all that. Maybe to some extent it's a kind of grief because it's something that's so embedded in you. You need to kind of kill off a part of yourself to let yourself be someone else. I'm getting really deep here, and I don't know if I should keep talking, but yeah, all I want to say is that distinct moment where I just let myself create and just have fun with it and just play it on repeat. For example, the groovy thing, which you can find on my channel. I have no idea how to put videos, embed them. Maybe I'll be able to edit this after I'm done with the video. Maybe not, but you can easily find it on my channel. It's called Groovy Thing. And I made it in GarageBand or GarageBand. I don't know how to pronounce that word. And it was just so boppy, and I was just there in pain, just like, whoa, this is groovy. This is fun. I love it. Um, and then I saw my flatmate bob to it. I was like, okay, okay, we're onto something. And it just felt great. I have no idea how many views I have on that, but it was so exciting to make. Um, Especially since it was kind of like a surprise at every stage, right? So, if you're not familiar with GarageBand, it's a free software on MacBooks where you can make your own music. You can use presets. You can basically pre-recorded sounds of literally any instrument you want, including like even choirs and stuff. But I mainly used jazzy sounds, beats. You usually start with a drum beat of some kind, and then you start layering other sounds. And yeah, I just went into like jazz, and I experimented with brass instruments and piano and beats, and it was just like, ooh, it feels like a Pink Panther kind of intro. As I said, I loved it. I would also love to do some video editing, some more video editing. I played around with Mespresso Time, which is a poem I wrote years ago, for a friend back home. And I really missed him, and we were in different time zones, and I really played with that kind of imagery of sweet things and desserts and stuff like that. Um, because of, all the bittersweet feelings of being apart. And making the video, I made it in Canva, and I haven't done that before, but I kind of tried to find stuff online on Google, like free cafe sounds. And I had that image in my head. I was like, I want some clinking of crockery and cutlery, and I want some chatter in the background, what you'd find in like any kind of relatively quiet cafe. And it was just awesome. Like putting the videos together, and then all the B-roll basically. It's just really, really interesting what you can do in this day and age. I'm assuming in the past the equivalent would have been making videotapes, I would say producing music, more like, yeah, just recording stuff on a portable recorder. I have no idea. I do apologize for my ignorance, but or making collages in the sense of like the visual art part of it. Um, but it's healing. We need more of that. We don't really, as adults, I don't know if we need to carve time out for that. And it's the same with play, and it's the same with other things that are so normalized at school and with kids. But as adults, it's just like, and then we wake up one day and we're like, why is it all so serious and so intense? And it's all about rules and yada, yada, yada. And I know that I am one who loves rules and loves systems and structure. I find things are like more satisfying and orderly that way. Um, but after a while, you're like, I want to do something that doesn't involve structure, that is just about exploring. And that's not just going on a little walk for my little mental health, It's about using what we have. And I was quite inspired by a few YouTubers. There's one, um, sadly I forget his name, but maybe I'll put his channel in the description. I don't know him personally, obviously. I just saw him on YouTube, but he has these short videos about just how to make your life more interesting. And it really inspired me, It's like sometimes we feel this void in ourselves because we just consume a lot and we don't create enough. And actually, I've seen quite a few Orthodox YouTubers. I don't really follow people like Orthodox YouTubers, influencers. I'm not really in that part of the internet for good reasons. But I was recommended at some point quite a few videos saying, you need to stop consuming and start creating. And it really makes sense because it's just like your brain is just eating, and you're not, I that's not a great analogy. But you're not using your talents, your gifts. You're not using what you have, and it's like you have this body that you've been given and you're not moving it about. That's probably a better analogy, right? So all the muscles start being atrophied, and it's just like, you need to do something with it. And plus, it distracts you from whatever worries you, which, if you're an overthinker, if you're an anxious person, if you're, a worrier with E, not O, but maybe you're also a worrier with O, then you know what I'm talking about. There's nothing better than doing something that just completely distracts you from your thoughts and you're spiraling. So here it is. I did a thing. I made a video. I have no idea. I can't even see my face because I have one of those book phone cases, and the little flap that goes over it literally covers my face. So I have no idea what I look like. There you go. It will be a complete surprise for me. If you've enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. I might not even know you, but I'm open to all feedback, and I might make this more often. Just a few thoughts. Um, Again, there's lots of people talking on the internet, so it's not like maybe my opinions are not necessary on the internet. Um, but it's like a conversation because all my friends know that I love sending a good voice note, like a good chunky 10, 15, 20-minute voice note. So I figured instead of that, I can just blah, 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 in a fluffy mic on my phone and go on YouTube. Oh, and also I hope you can appreciate my koala socks from my friend who went to Australia on holiday. It's my second pair of koala socks. I have another one that my dad bought me from Edinburgh Zoo, which I'm very happy about. Right. Well, I wish you all a blessed rest of the week. And I wonder if I should finish off with like a quote or a deep thought just to make it more. Um, hmm. You know how there's that film called Yes Day? And it's not Yes Man, it's Yes Day. They're two different films. So Yes Day is about these parents who love saying it used to love to say yes to everything, and they were super adventurous in their youth, and then they had three kids and that kind of died down and it was all about rules. And then their kids decide that they would have a yes day, and so they say yes to everything and anything, of course, with a few rules, like nothing life threatening and stuff like that. Um, and I just loved it because it was about allowing yourself to just go with whatever you want to do in the moment, even if you don't have a plan, even if, I don't know, you don't have all the perfect conditions or you don't feel like an immense amount of drive and creativity and yada yada. So I think my little thought for you, let's imagine this tiny stick is a thought. So the thought I'm giving you is, if there's something you want to do today that you didn't initially plan to do, but you just feel like doing it, just do it within 5 seconds. Mel Robinson's 5 second rule. If you don't do it within 5 seconds, you're not going to do it. And 5 seconds, it could just mean get up from your chair and start getting dressed, or get up from your chair, make yourself a jolly wee cup of tea. I haven't even had a sip of this yet. Let's see. Ah, very good. Very good tea. It could mean anything. Just do it. Just do it. Anyway, I might just play some guitar now. And I'm not making any promises. I'm just gonna go with the flow. That's the secret. Lots of love to everyone, and maybe I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Already spilled like a quarter of it while setting up, which was surprisingly quick. But yeah, I hope you cannot hear the drilling in the building nearby. Yeah, I don't. Oh no! I guess a take two is needed. Oh, it's still filming. Let's see, maybe we can salvage this. Well, that's Edinburgh weather for you.